Wichita Mountain, you know, that oak cedar woodland over there, they had trees they were able to find that were growing 1712. So from 1712 to 1904, 4-year fire return interval on average. 4 years. So remember, these intervals are averages. So what that means is, in a 40-year period, there was 10 fires that occurred. If you average it, that's 4, right? Is that what they taught you at Greenfield? 10? Yeah. So, you know, that's 4 years. So that means year 1, they may not have burned. Year 2 may not have burned. Year 3, it may not have burned. Year 4 may not have burned. Year 5, 6, didn't burn. And guess what? Year 6, it burned. Year 7, it burned. Year 8, it burned. Then it burned again in year 10. Then it burned again in year 15. Then it burned again in year 20. You know, there's times that it burned back-to-back years. Some years it was maybe 5 or 10 years apart. It's an average. But what it's telling us is that there were 40 fires occurred in a 40, or 10 fires occurred in a 40-year period. And if you look at that, so again, 1902 to 2006, it went up to about 5 years, and then if you don't look at it overall, it's almost about 5 years. Big part of it. A lot of fire, you know, dry areas. You know, even drier areas, go out to Capulin volcano out just out west of the tip of the Panhandle out around Capulin and Desmond, New Mexico out there. It's an old volcano, relic volcano out there in the middle of the plains. 1600 to 1750, yeah, 5-year fire frequency. You know, you're talking about an area that's probably 16-inch rainfall though. Then you go back to eastern Oklahoma, go south in Cherokee County, Oak Pine Forest in there, and they were able to find trees that were growing in the 1650s. So if you look at it, 1650 to 1830, you had about a 3-4 year fire return interval in that forested area, a lot of fires. And what's really interesting, from 1830 to 1889, that fire frequency jumped up to less than 2 years. What happened in that part of the world in 1830? That's when the Cherokees moved in from back east. They said, yeah, fire's important. Y'all are burning, but y'all ain't burning near enough. We're going to burn more. And again, they had that, again, burned out over less than 2 year frequency all the way up in that period. It got up to about 1925. And then from 1925 to 1992, fire frequency went to 17 years. Once every 17 years. That's why you got a big old thick mess over there. Is looking at that. You know, again, that shows the importance of fire. So as you look through the history of this state and look around, and I love history, you know, and love being from Oklahoma and working for OSU and stuff, and I like to look at this stuff like that. So these are, you know, going back through historical photographs, you know, I like looking at that stuff. And, you know, the deal is we always look at these photographs and doing that. So this is 1892. This is driving cattle between Oto and Pawnee. So Oto is either one of two places. Oto is either where the Oto tribal, the Oto tribal complex north of Stillwater, or it's either the Oto siding, which was a railroad spur and corral system that was kind of northwest of Stillwater. So that's driving just north of Stillwater towards Pawnee. So if y'all are familiar with that up there, Cedar Lake area. And everybody always looks at the picture and all the cattle and the cowboys, and that's the cool part. I like to look at the background. And I know it's old pictures and big screen. What do you not see in that picture? Not a cedar tree or any other tree, right? Where are they at? Did the Indians fly on some tractor or something? Herbicide? Run out there with a chainsaw and whack some trees down? Don't have any of that stuff. Why is it not there? You know, here's another same different here. Same deal going on. What do you not see in that picture? I would love to be able to figure out where that spot is. I've got a couple people working but we're trying to find it. I'd love to have a picture now of what that is. So this is 1891 water tank, natural, it's a water hole in Muskogee, Oklahoma, which is now currently at the corner of Junction and Old Mogi in the town of Muskogee. Look in the background. What do you not see? The Turner Ranch, Muskogee Indian Territory, 1900. Ah yes, there is some trees in the background. Probably a creek. But does that look like a creek, any creek y'all know of today? Look how those trees are spaced. Yeah. Wyland Homestead, just outside of Stillwater, Oklahoma Territory, so before statehood. What do you not see in that picture? 1905, cattle drive from Colgate, near Colgate on the way to Tulsa. This is David Payne, who is Payne County is named for. He was also had led the Sooners, Boomers, trying to settle in Indian Territory. They were crossing, this picture, they were crossing the North Canadian River somewhere around Oklahoma, Lincoln County line. Probably the best way to figure out where that's at. If you look, this area has been burnt. The foreground's burnt, there's snow on the ground. The backside of it still looks like it's got, dry vegetation on it. But what do you not see in any of that picture? Anywhere.
No mesquite.
No mesquite, there we go. No mesquite. I don't see any electric poles either. This is a great one. 1889, so this is before the big run that opened up central Oklahoma. People are coming down, they're crossing the railroad bridge, that's the only bridge across the Salt Fork. So this is somewhere north of the town of Pond Creek. And that is the Salt Fork of the Arkansas River, where to me they look like cottonwoods. There's about a dozen of them. You'll cross the Salt Fork on I-35 by Tonkawa when you're going up north, and you all got there. You can't even see the river until you get on the bridge, right? Because of trees. Now, we did have trees in Oklahoma. Yes. Not sure where this one's out. Oklahoma Territory. Those all look like post oaks to me. But they're all beat up, if you'll look at them. They're beat up wine because of fire. They're all witched out. Resprouting, epicormic sprouting, where you get the heat up there. It doesn't totally kill the tree, but it damages the limbs, and then you'll get all this sprouting. Also, you see it from ice damage, things like that. Epicormic sprouting. So you don't see a lot. You see some smaller trees that have probably been top killed, and I would love to find this place.